Welcome back. Well, I just got wrapped up with the majority of my sink set up and the plumbing finally. I put the sink in about a month ago, but I got the faucet here lately, and then I put the plumbing in, and I have a pump, and I also have it hooked up to where you can have street water with a hose on the side. So if you're at a campground that has water, you don't have to use the pump. If you're on the road, or if you're in a national forest or something, you have a water supply. So here's the way it works. You just turn on the tap and got a little air in the line, but got that going, so you heard the pump turn on. Right now I'm on the pump, I'm not on the city water. And the pump that I put in is a Sea-flo, and it's down here. And it's got an automatic pressure switch in it, okay? So it keeps pressure in the line on the outline of somewhere around 45 psi. And so the hose coming in will come up through that line, you'll see in a moment. And if there's water pressure coming in here, well, that pump wouldn't turn on because it detects that the water pressure is already in the line. There's a check valve in the fitting right there, and that's by default. A lot of those RV hose bib things have a check valve in them. And there's a check valve there. So if there's pressure, it won't go back and into my tank. And if there's pressure the other way, it won't go outside. So the plumbing works like this. I've got a low pressure side to this. The pump came with a strainer, and then it goes into this 12-volt pump, which I have wired in with a 10 amp fuse. And then it puts pressure there. So if there's power in this line, it's going to start detecting pressure. Now, I'm going to put a switch in eventually that'll be out here. I can turn it on and off with a light indicator. But when I hooked this up, I had an inline switch on a cord set that would work for 12 volt. Of course, that's for 110, but it's just a switch. It'll work for the 12 volt setup. So I can turn my pump off, make sure it doesn't come on while going on the road for some reason. All right, so that's the way that works. And then for the drain, this is a Camco drain. I think there's another brand out there. It's probably all coming from the same place. And I have it coming down through this pipe. So the neat thing about this is it's got a built-in P-trap in this fitting. So this line would normally stop about right there with the kit that they provide. You can get a hose from a $10 Bilge kit from either Amazon or Walmart, and that hose will reach down 5 feet. I had to cut off about 1.5 feet. So that goes to the outside, and then I don't have a holding tank for my gray water, and you'll see where that goes when I go to the outside. It just simply drains out a hose and into a 5-gallon bucket. And that's the way that works. So my incoming is down here. My exit's down through there. I've got a couple of valves in here. I've got one for the hot side. I've got one for the cold side. And you'll notice I don't have a hot water heater. I do, and I plan to put one standing right here. A 4-gallon one, I believe, is what I'm going to go with. And I've already got it pre-plumbed, so I can just come off of that with a supply line, and then I can change my hot water supply line from my sink and put it on the outgoing of the water tank. And it's electric, so it'll work when I have electric. When I don't have electric, I'll either use a generator or I won't have hot water. Simple as that. The tank is straight out of a Walmart. You can get them online too. 6 gallons here. If I want to double my capacity, I just move the hose over, and I've got 12 gallons there. And then if I get a 4-gallon water heater, I'll have a total of 20 gallons. 5-gallon bucket on the outside for draining, and I'll be good to go. So that's the way that works. You see that the pump's automatic. It just kicks on. It's pretty quiet. It's running down there now. And it gets pressure in the line. And now the pressure's in the line, the pump went off. Works as simple as that. So I could also move my gray water and 5-gallon bucket to the inside with another short bilge hose, or with the hose that came with it. I just switched that out if I wanted to. But I think that's going to work great for now. And I'm ready to put in the water heater because it's pre-plumbed, and it should stand right there about 19 inches tall. Let's go on the outside and look to see what I did out there. Now we're on the outside. So if I hook up a hose from my campground, it'll detect the pressure. Notice there's water in there in that line, but it's not coming out here. That's because there's a check valve built into these things. So just make sure that the one you choose does have a check valve. And you'll see, if you do have a WeeRoll, you'll see where I drilled that. I was very careful where I put that. And this one over here is just a drain, and it hooks straight out of a water hose, and it's going into a 5-gallon bucket. So I'm going to get a short hose to do that. Right now, this liter hose is just a little too long. I'm going to buy a 2-foot hose to do that. And I've got this Easy Off bucket lid you can get for $3 at Home Depot. And they come off easy. And I'm going to drill a round hole in there to where a water hose just fits in there. It'll be in my bucket until I take it to the dump station or to a place where I want to dump the gray water. All right, that wraps it up for my general plumbing of my sink and my drain. I appreciate you watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Take care.